I've made a lot of bad decisions in 30 years of living. Like when I was 8 and I decided to run away from home with nothing more than the clothes on my back, peanut butter crackers, and my pink Schwinn bicycle with a flat front tire. And the time when I was 16 and decided it was a good idea to lose my virginity at an outdoor Metallica concert. And then there was the time I was 19 and decided I could make it to Atlanta on a quarter tank of gas if I kept the air conditioner off. There are other examples, but I won't bore you with the details. Obviously, my judgment has gotten worse as I've grown older, because those bad decisions are nothing compared to the one I was about to make. "Hey, Queen of Denial, you're up." I gave the bouncer guarding the stage entrance my haughtiest glare, sucked in my corseted stomach, tossed my head so the black wig I wore shifted uncomfortably on top of my scalp, and flicked my cat-o'-nine-tails hard enough to leave a welt on my thigh. It was all in the attitude, and if I had anything to do with it, the foxy lady would never be the same after Addison Holmes made her debut. The music overwhelmed my senses, and the bass pumped through my veins in time with the beat of my heart. The lights stung my eyes with their intensity, and I slunk across the stage Marlene Dietrich style in hopes that I wouldn't fall on my face. Marlene's the epitome of sexy in my mind, which should tell you a little something about me. I'd run into a little problem lately, and let's just say that anyone who's ever said money can't buy happiness has obviously never had the need for money. My apartment had a date with a wrecking ball in 60 days. And there was this sweet little house in town I wanted to buy, but thus far the funds to buy it hadn't magically appeared in my bank account. I could probably make a respectable down payment in 3 or 4 years, but I had payments on a 350Z Roadster that were killing me, yoga classes, credit cards, a new satellite dish that fell through my roof last week, an Underwear of the Month Club membership to pay for, and wedding bills that were long past overdue. My bank account was stretched a little thin at the moment. None of those things would be a big deal if I was making big executive dollars at some company where I had to wear pantyhose every day. But I teach 9th grade world history at James Madison High School in Whiskey Bayou, Georgia, which means I make slightly more than those guys who sit in the toll booths and look at porn all day, and slightly less than the road crew guys who stand on the side of the highway in the orange vests and wave flags at oncoming traffic. Since I'd rather have a bikini wax immediately followed by a salt scrub than have to move home with my mother, I declared myself officially desperate. And desperation leads to all kinds of things that will haunt a person come Judgment Day, like stripping to my skivvies in front of men who are almost as desperate as I am. The beat of the music coursed through my body as I twirled and gyrated. The lights baked my skin and sweat poured down my face from their heat. Something tickled my cheek. I caught a glimpse of black out of the corner of my eye and realized a false eyelash one of the working girls had stuck on me earlier sat like a third eyebrow on my glistening skin. I swiped at it nonchalantly, but it wouldn't budge. I ducked my head and peeled it off my cheek, but then it stuck to my finger and I couldn't get the little devil off. I shimmied down to my knees and knelt in front of a portly man with rosy cheeks and glazed eyes that spoke of too much alcohol. His sausage-like fingers came a little too close, so I gave him a slap with my whip to remind him of his manners and the fact he was wearing a wedding ring. I ran my fingers through his thick black hair and left the eyelash as a souvenir of his visit to the foxy lady. The thought crossed my mind that he might have a hard time explaining the eyelash to his wife, but the music kicked up in tempo and I had to figure out something else to do with my remaining 2 minutes on stage. Who'd have guessed it would take me 30 seconds to run through all my dance moves? The arches of my feet were screaming, and I almost laughed in relief when I saw the poles on the far side of the stage. I could spin a few times on the poles and hang upside down a few seconds to take the pressure off my feet. Besides, I watch TV. Men always seem to go crazy for the girls dancing with the poles.